Welcome to Pot of Thunder, the recognized symbol of excellence in rock and roll podcasting, brought to you by Blue Microphones. They look great. They sound even better. And guess who's here?
Here's my buddy Andy.
It's your buddy Andy, America's little brother. And as always, I am joined by Gnarly Nick.
Bam! Bam!
Ooh, the Garlic Dragon is in the house. There he is.
Yep.
And just
the double tap.
The double tap to start the show. And just to his right, there he is. Oh, come on.
He was a moocher, a card cheat, a country club golf hustler, a scumbag.
Put your hands together for Chris Alt, the breakout star of the podcast medium. There he is. Guys, here we are.
Normally, if Chris was on my immediate right, he'd be either sitting on my lap or on that little table, that little end table. So
it can be a bizarre.
And Andy's got his directions mixed up. I would be stage left, if you will.
I'm sorry, I'm referring to my Skype window, so that's...
well, and also from your perspective, if we were were three men in the sex den and you turned around to look at us, I would be on Nick's right. So.
Yes, indeed. And here we are, another remote quarantine episode. How you guys holding up?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
We're still here, still breathing.
Still breathing. I know the governor of Illinois is preempting Jeopardy every day, isn't that right?
He's spilling into the beginning of Jeopardy, which I don't appreciate.
You know what I think of that?
How dare him? How dare him?
Speaking of Rahm Emanuel, you don't think every day he wakes up thanking Christ he doesn't have to deal with this shit as the mayor of Chicago? I mean, him and Bruce Rauner, just speaking, from an Illinois standpoint, the former mayor of Chicago and governor of Illinois, these guys have got to be doing backflips that they don't have to fucking deal with this horse shit.
Yeah.
I mean, what a nightmare. Pritzker's an asshole. No two ways about it. But, Lori Lightfoot, you got to give that woman credit. I mean, she's stepping up in a really something that she didn't sign up for this job. So, Pritzker's a toad, though. So don't get
I don't know. Any politician in Illinois, especially, you can't give them that much credit just for the fact that they got elected in Illinois.
This is true. But yeah, so. But yeah, other than that, if missing the first portion of Jeopardy is my biggest problem these days, I'm a lucky man.
That's true. But still, I mean, we can't back off on that. I think that Pritzker is a
total fucking dewclaw.
Yes, absolutely perfect.
I heard when it went back to Jeopardy and Alex Trebek was standing there. He said,
"You guys deserved way better than this jerk-off did tonight. I'm sorry."
It's absolutely true. You can't preempt Jeopardy, for Christ's sake.
No.
Figure it out, man.
Well, and especially, isn't Alex Trebek still having health issues? You don't want to mess with him at this point in the game.
Yeah, time's running out for that guy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give him all the time that he's due right now.
Yeah, get your priorities in order. Instead of listening to your own fucking voice, Pritzker, defer to Alex Trebek, a much greater human being than you'll ever be. Anyway, that's way too much Illinois.
It's a lot, but
get out with it.
Yeah. So we're in the rotation. We're sticking to that, and this week it's Chris's turn to choose from the listener submission list. Oh, what are we hoping for today? Let's see. Got over 2,200 now, guys. 2,200.
Wow. We'll never get through all of it.
I hope not. My goodness.
Yes. I hope we don't get to some of the material on this list, but I like that number. It makes me feel good. People are participating. I mean, If there's another podcast out there that has this level of listener participation, I'd like to see it. I haven't seen it. We're the podcast for the people. That's what we are. It's as simple as
we're like in reality what an Illinois politician would claim to be during a campaign.
Yes, exactly right. Except we've delivered on our promises.
Yes, with all the claims of transparency coming out of every politician's mouth, we're the only podcast that actually brings you that transparency.
Absolutely right.
All right, well, Nick, yank that crank. It's time. Fire up the bozo pewter.
Oh, I'd love to.
All right.
Stand by. Let's go over to the bozo pewter.
That boy's been drinking.
What a testament to Bob Bell as bozo that he's cracking people up. I don't know.
How many years later?
Over 50 years later. Almost 60 years later.
Timeless entertainment.
All right, well, the first choice has just been sent to Chris, and we will see what Chris thinks about number 504.
I'm just watching his face.
This is interesting.
Oh, my.
This is very interesting. Love the band. Have never heard the song. I don't recognize it.
We've been burned by that before.
I don't think well, again, everybody knows the song, so except for Nick, of course, if I choose to pick this one, and it's the title of the episode. Like I said, big fan of the band. I do not recognize the song title at all. I am going to go with this one.
Yeah?
Oh, my.
All right.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Is this a band that we've done yet?
No.
Oh, my.
All heard of it.
Excellent.
And there's actually something timely going on with them that we can get into a little bit here.
All right.
But yeah, I'm going for it.
No Bushwick today. All right.
Oh,
well.
it's very interesting.
All right. Well, it's time to turn the microphone over to Chris Jericho. I will read this one to get the syncing timing right. Here we go.
All right, Hamill. This one's called
Out of Sync.
Off of
Oh, no, it's Devo.
by the band.
Devo.
Oh, okay. I don't think I know this one either.
Now this is the Oh No It's Devo is the album that has That's Good and Peekaboo on it, right?
Yes, big fan of Peekaboo over here.
That's Good is the other one. That's the video that has the what's the cruller the long donut.
Isn't it a crinkle fry? Or is that a different one? Maybe that's the Peekaboo video.
Yeah. What's the long donut? Why am I blank?
Long John.
Yeah. So the Long John crashing into the hole of the regular donut repeatedly is one of my main takeaways.
Have you guys ever seen, I want to say it's very early in their career, I happened upon it on YouTube, and it's them doing a cover of Secret Agent Man, but it's not really the same song, just part of it sort of is. It's really weird, and they all have these really creepy masks on, and
No, I've never seen that.
No, it's pretty out there. But yeah, I don't know this song, but do we know what year this album is from?
1983,
1982.
Oh, so they were still really, really hot at this point. I would think 82.
and with like early MTV.
Yeah. Yeah,
who submitted this one? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's okay. No, that's okay.
So this was submitted by Tyler Wilson. Tyler says, "Love me some Devo, more than just whip it." And also the surrounding songs submitted by Tyler Wilson, several other Devo songs. including the same song more than once, and with different comments.
Maybe Tyler forgot and submitted them months apart. Who knows?
That's probably what it is. It's just fun. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. 7 months, 5 months apart. I don't know.
So Devo, like I was a tiny person physically when they were at their peak, their heyday, but kind of reading up and seeing some stuff on YouTube, seems like they were pretty enormous. Like David Bowie was huge into them. They were on Saturday Night Live. They were on like every show. They were on like Fridays, Saturday Night Live. They were on Square. They were on an episode of Square Pegs. So it seemed like they were just like the new thing that was huge. I don't really know of too many, like when a band like that, let's take like Korn in the mid '90s, for instance, when a band like that emerges, you're going to get like people sort of copying that style, maybe doing different things with it. I don't know that happened with Devo that much.
Well,
did they have a lot of copycat bands?
I think first of all, it's impossible to copy them. They're just so unique and just so out there that I think any attempt to just disingenuously copy them would have fallen completely flat. I mean, it's not easily copied what they did. They're just so subversive that I don't think anybody, even if they had the balls to go there, they couldn't have pulled it off. And then when you say huge, I mean, they were known and had all these, TV spots and whatnot, and kind of, both respect and curiosity from other big acts, but they were never like an arena band. Devo was never going to fill up Chicago Stadium or Joe Louis Arena, but, they were definitely known and notorious, and, had a lot of great stuff.
Do you think it could have been legitimately called Devo Mania for a little while?
Again, I don't know.
Do you think they were as well known, if not better known and revered than Fernando Valenzuela in the mid to late '80s?
I would say less than Fernando Valenzuela.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. Fernando was huge too, but I don't know. Was he bigger than Devo? That's the question I'm posing.
So simply because I think Devo had a grand total of 0 appeal to the Latino community during that time. So I think that's the tipping point, really.
I wonder if any of our Latino listeners can verify that there's nothing about Devo that speaks to them culturally.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those unexplainable things like Morrissey being huge in the Latino community. Maybe they love Devo too. I don't know.
I thought it was just the one guy that we knew who was Latino.
Well, it just goes to show you it's a big thing.
Really?
Yeah,
that's a real thing.
I did not know that.
The guy we're talking about, Arturo fucking Valle, of course. I didn't know that till he brought it up to me, and then he sent me a few links, and I went down a rabbit hole of investigating it.
Wow.
And it's a real thing.
That's something that needs to be talked about more.
I've got an album of Spanish covers of Morrissey songs, like done in like a Latino style. It's that big of a thing in the Latin culture. He's their guy.
I don't get it, but okay.
And he loves them too. I remember I saw an interview where he said they have great hair and nice teeth. Some nice compliments for.
You never know what Morrissey is looking for.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for apparently. So that was his way to return.
Chances are he's not necessarily looking for the dirty sex element in the Latino women.
He just wants something organic, and I guess the Latino hair and teeth count is about as organic as it gets.
Do they have nice teeth? Are they known for that? I get the hair.
The hair, absolutely.
I think we're all in agreement on the hair.
I didn't know the teeth was a big Latino.
I guess I never got past the hair enough to look at the teeth.
Yeah. I didn't even know Latinos had mouths.
I've noticed eyes once in a while, but that's as far as I've gotten.
Yes. Yeah.
Just looking up all the time. Okay, so Out of Sync. This is track 3. I don't know this one. None of us know this one, correct?
Yeah, this is another new discovery. People have been enjoying the string of episodes where we've kind of gotten some songs that some or all of us have never really heard before. So this is continuing the string of interesting episodes.
Now, is there a notable track on this album that more casual fan would have heard of?
Well, this is the one with Peekaboo, and that's good, right?
That is the same album.
Yeah.
Correct, Andy?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those are big hits. Well, I don't know about hits, but they were in heavy rotation on MTV. I love those.
Yeah.
Like I said, the one donut crashing into the other. I mean, that's one of the greatest video things ever.
I want to say in Peekaboo, there's like a crinkle fry going into a donut too. So
we'll have to confirm that.
Yeah. It isn't this the album where on the front they're all potatoes.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
And his head is poking out of potatoes. The Spud Men, I believe, was the. I mean, who comes up with that? I mean, this is a band that I bust Andy's balls about this all the time just for the sake of doing it. But he's a big fan of Faith No More, and all the offshoot bands that are just off kilter and weird and difficult, if not impossible, to emulate. These guys, while they're not in the hard rock realm, these guys are definitely pioneers of that. And is there any indication that Patton and company were influenced by these guys in any way?
I've read interviews where the guitar player from Mr. Bungle referenced wearing what is it called? The helmet, the Devo
flower
helmet.
pot.
Yeah, I think it has a name like is it an anti-negativity helmet or something? It's got some weird
like that.
Yeah, it's got some weird name, but that when he was like in middle school, he would wear it to school every day. So definitely, I'm sure they were listening to Devo, especially early on.
Yeah, and Devo, like, I mean, they are, we had a Guar episode a couple months ago, and I'm pretty sure the backstory is very similar, where they're art students.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
because you had the visual, and I'm pretty sure that was the case with Devo as well. I guess is it art rock, I guess, because I mean, I've heard of that term. I've heard of some bands being referred to as that. I guess Devo would count.
qualify. Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, you guys ready to start this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
All right.
Excited.
Let's do it. Man, I know what Nick's thinking.
Yeah, you got the weird timing already. That was one of their things. They would get into the strange time signatures, and I guess I'll call it a riff, even though it's not on the guitar. That was kind of a never-ending riff. It didn't really repeat when you were thinking it was gonna start over.
Mm-hmm.
And only knowing the two songs we've mentioned off this album, this is definitely in the same wheelhouse in terms of a similar sound. I mean, do we know what, I don't know anything about keyboards, but I'm getting the impression that there's a specific type of keyboard that puts out that sound, like
I'm sure. I don't know
like,
it either.
You know, a Casio or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah.
it would be, but
Yeah.
it's like something they discovered and liked it so much that it just defined the sound and direction of this album, and the sound and direction of the band during this era. So, also reminding me of the sound of the Lambda 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 band in Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah,
Clearly they were.
There's
there
your
again.
Devo. There's your Devo ripoff.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that just shows you, that they definitely had a place in pop culture for that brief time, at least. And so far musically, what's going on, I can hear where Weird Al may have been thinking this song a little bit for "Dare to Be Stupid."
That's exactly what
There
I was
you go.
going to say. This is the one, I think, or one of a couple. I totally hear it. I don't know, Chris, are you familiar with "Dare to Be Stupid" at all?
I've heard it.
Yeah.
I've heard it before.
Because that's one of the Weird Al's where it's not a direct parody of any song. It's just him trying to do a song in the style of Devo.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that would probably have come out shortly after this album came out, correct? Early
I think
80s?
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think yeah, maybe a year or two after.
Yeah, so I'm thinking he, was mimicking the sound of this album because it's very distinct in terms of the other songs that I'm familiar with from this album and now this one. So
Yeah,
definitely something they were determined to put out there during this time.
And that's a very cool thing that Weird Al's done over his career, and that's imagine that somebody doing a song in the style of other famous artists. Oh, think of that.
I know who would have the gonads, something like that.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to talk about that more later.
More on that later.
That little sound.
Yeah, what was that? A revving motorcycle, or what was it? Some sort of animal, maybe?
I don't know. I think it's just like a weird descending another keyboard thing, but at a different tone. Yeah.
It reminds me of a few different things. Yeah, it does. It sounds a little bit like Speeding Back to My Baby. You had the car noises. You've got just a band that I bring up quite a bit, but I think it's relevant. I don't know what the direct influence would be, but sort of like some of the guitar tones with the effects that were in the early Genesis stuff. Like there's a part in the song "Musical Box" where it sounds a lot like that.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of experimentation with sounds and with effects. So I don't know. It just reminded me of it a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any knowledge of that. Nonsense.
Can't wait till we get a Genesis song.
What was the name of that song?
The Musical Box.
Get out of here.
It's a masterpiece.
Ridiculous stuff.
What is the Musical Box?
What is it?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's the stories of the Genesis songs are so strange. They usually have to do with death and apocalypse, and well, not all of them, of course, but these big epic pieces. It's something at the end where he's suddenly an old man. It's something that you have to watch the performance and the costumes to get a feel for.
I mean, in the theme of this episode and the band we're dealing with, I have to give Genesis credit. In the early days, I used the term subversive this episode. Bands just completely against the grain that somehow became popular, and credit where credit's due. They definitely adopted that formula and it worked for them. Then they became a fucking softball adult-oriented rock act with that idiot Phil Collins.
But I think like Devo, it's very there's the whole stage presentation, and it's very artsy and weird, and I think there's some similarities there.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't discount that connection. But Devo never really got away from it. Genesis did. Devo, I would say this period, this album is probably their most commercial. I'm not a huge Devo, expert, obviously, but I would say this is their most accessible material. So,
aside from the only other song that comes to mind is "Girl You Want," which Soundgarden, I remember them covering. That was pretty popular on the radio for a while.
Yeah, they got so many great songs. Starting from the beginning, have you guys ever heard Mongoloid?
I have.
That's great, man. Great stuff.
And like Jocko Homo is such a weird song.
The Stones cover Satisfaction, the video for that, so weird. Freedom of Choice, obviously, which should be an anthem every election cycle, is just incredible. It's just great stuff. I mean, these guys are what a true originals, and people like that deserve all kinds of respect.
I don't know what's coming in this song. I'm a little surprised that there aren't like intentional timing, like edit, stuff where it's off the beat or something like that, like to drive home the out of sync sort of title. But I guess what are we getting lyrically? Just it's about a girl who. I don't know.
Yeah,
she's confused.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's amiss with this woman.
Yeah, it's the opening. She's out of sync, and everyone around her knows that something is wrong. Kind of funny. She's got all the symptoms of a girl who skipped a beat.
Yeah.
She entered through the exit and never stopped to think. It's pretty funny. Yeah. Weird. Typical Devo.
It almost sounds like an arcade game vehicle crash there. Like Space Invaders ship getting destroyed or something.
Yeah, video or arcade games from that era, yes, definitely. Yeah. It's a good call there. How much effort went into the recording of this? I mean, it's literally a keyboard. I mean, how many guys did it take to lay this stuff down?
Yeah.
It's not the whole band. This reminds me of that guy who did a song about me, Wesley Willis. He just got up there with hit the demo button on a Casio keyboard and just barked out a bunch of lyrics over it. This is reminding me of that.
Well, it's the same sound, but it's obviously created from scratch.
It's composed.
Versus the demo. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you just wonder how long it took them to put this album out to, like, get all the songs down and get it out. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're. How could there have possibly been a ton of effort going into it? You know.
Well, I feel like once it's all written, it's probably easier to record.
Well, sure. I mean, yes, all the work goes into coming up with it. But then again, this is not exactly the most complex, ambitious songwriting I've ever heard. I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's got this cadence down that is, again, typical of the other songs I've heard from this album. There's nothing especially out there about this. It's just not as catchy so far as the songs I'm more familiar with from this album.
That's I think I figured out what that sound is.
What?
You know how on America's Funniest Home Videos, it's always like a person's kid hitting him in the groin with a wiffle ball bat.
Yeah.
This is Luke Skywalker hitting Darth Vader in the groin with a wiffle ball bat. That's the sound he would make.
Exhaling of air,
and stopping short of profanity.
All right. We're like halfway through. I guess we just keep rolling. See if it's going to go anywhere else. Here we go.
Did the Pac-Man Fever song come out before or after this? I wonder. I'm wondering, or there must have been an influence there, like going in both directions. I'm thinking with all the video games, linking this kind of music to video games, there had to be some sort of history there.
Yeah, I mean, I know that arcade games and that ilk, Pac-Man, all that stuff was just huge. I spent most of my time in a arcade during that period. Actually, there's 2 blocks from my house on the same block was the guitar studio where I took guitar lessons, and then about 4 storefronts down was an arcade. I was constantly at one place or the other for like 2 or 3 solid years.
Wow,
in the early.
That close?
What was your go-to game? Did you have a record on anything?
I was pretty good at asteroids, where you like leave one asteroid and you just go cruising for the spaceships for the big points. I was pretty good at that game. My favorite game was Scramble. That's another, spaceship shooting, bombing type game. That was like they call it, I guess, the scrolling horizontal game where you're progressing across the screen from left to right. Mm-hmm. That was my favorite. I wasn't the best at it, but it was a challenging game. But I was the best at asteroids, not the best, of other guys who were better than me, but my personal best scores were on asteroids.
I think my it came a few years after that, of course, but I think the best arcade game that I can remember playing is that Simpsons one.
That was fun.
That really big Simpsons one.
The 4-player.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have had to have been that late 80s, right?
Yeah, probably early 90s they came out with the game, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, arcades were the place to be for. I was right at the perfect age to be fucking around in arcades during that time. I mean, they were like bars for people who couldn't get into bars. They were usually dark and loud in there, and there were a lot of shady characters hanging around. It was a very exciting scene for a man of my age.
Now, was it a place where you went to go try to meet girls too, or was it not really a girl kind of a thing?
Yeah, there were barely any girls.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so at that point.
It was a very male bonding Lord of the Flies scene in there.
But how close did you say it was to where you grew up?
2 blocks from my house.
Same street.
Well, it was. Yeah, I mean the guitar studio was 2 blocks down on a corner from my house, and then I guess would be 4 or 5 storefronts east would be the arcade. So
that's cool.
I was always over there. It was great.
I'm always jealous of people who grew up with things.
Yeah, it just happened to work out. I mean, it was we moved to this new house in 1979, and that's right just when I started taking guitar lessons, and then the whole arcade thing blew up. So it was just the timing lined up, and I was always there, constantly.
No, I'm thinking like musically speaking, I don't know this, but I'm assuming that this music that resembles this, that's from video games, that was like necessity. That was based on the limitations of the technology.
Yeah. That
they had to have music like that. But it's interesting that, a sort of like a pop music kind of thing. I mean, like the arcade games were really, really popular, so it makes sense that it would be. It's kind of it's a dumbed down version of recorded music in a way, but it makes perfect sense that there would have been like a crossover going on, considering just whatever's popular is going to find its way into other mediums.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Pac-Man Fever came out in 1981, so it would have preceded this stuff. So you never know. Devo could have been influenced by Buckner and Garcia, the artists behind Pac-Man Fever.
One thing we know is that at least half of that duo was influenced by Morrissey heavily.
Yeah, and the other one cost the Red Sox the 1996 World Series. So quite an interesting duo. Mm-hmm. And together they're responsible for the Dylan-esque lyric, "I've got a callus on my finger and my shoulder's hurting too." real highbrow stuff coming out of those guys.
Shoulders hurting too. All right, let's keep going. By the way, the Devo helmet is called the Energy Dome.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, and that's what I was talking about when I said they've been in the news lately. They've been making personal protective equipment, face shields with the Energy Dome on top. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if the band itself is behind that, but I would think that they would have to at least license that out. And but yeah, I've seen Devo PPG out there. So
I feel like I could
still in the news.
I feel like I could pull that off.
You could.
I think so. I think I got it.
Yeah.
And you know,
It's right in your wheelhouse.
It is. Anti-negativity helmet is the Aquabats helmet. So I
that's
mixed
right,
those
yeah.
up, and they are a band that was and is heavily influenced by Devo, even to the point where they have a helmet with a name. So there you go. And I flip-flopped those.
And also, they have, I always get his last name wrong, Mark Mothersbaugh, I believe that's how you say it. They've had him on their TV show.
Yeah.
There was the kids show that the singer was behind, Yo Gabba Gabba.
Mm-hmm.
He was Mothersbaugh had a regular segment on there.
So there you go.
Yeah, very very huge fans.
Mm-hmm. And there's some stuff of theirs, like I'm specifically thinking of that song about worms make the dirt and the dirt makes the earth. Do you remember that song, Nick? That's like,
of course,
that's like this type of music. Most of their stuff isn't, but that's like one on a B-sides album that's all whatever you want to, like Chris was saying. I don't know if it's some kind of Casio patch, whatever it is, but that's the same thing that they're doing on that song. And it's also lyrically could be a Devo song. It's just singing about worms and dirt.
Yeah.
And birds eating worms and yeah.
Well, I mean, do we have to talk about the intro to "Supper Is Ready" and the live version talking about worms and dirt? No, we don't need to.
We never have to talk about the intro to "Supper's Ready."
I can't wait until we get "Supper Is Ready." It's gonna be the best.
How long is that fucking song?
It's like 22 minutes, I think.
That'll
Yeah.
be a nightmare. That will be an abject nightmare.
I don't know when the next time the three of us are going to be out somewhere where there's a jukebox, but you better believe I'm going to be queuing that one up.
I'd be down with that just because I love doing that.
It would be one of those cases where it's overridden by the management and faded down.
Absolutely. Now, I used to do that at Kilroy's. I would when they first got like downloadable jukeboxes, so like any song imaginable could come up. I would always punch up Mountain Jam by the Allman Brothers from E to P, just like half an hour long, and just watch all these fucking mouth breathers in there, realizing that their Nickelback songs aren't coming up like 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in, and just the palpable tension that starts to build up in the room is worth every penny. So I'd totally be on board with that. That would be great.
And there it is.
Oh, man.
They should have faded that ending out and then back in like a day in the life. That would have taken the song over the top. Because it sounded like the keyboard was gradually getting louder, that sustained note or chord they were playing at the end there.
Yeah.
They should have gone a day in life with it. That would have been spectacular. If I was producing that album, I would have demanded that they do that.
All right. So this was Chris's, I don't want to say choice, but it was Tyler's choice, and Chris picked it off the list. So, Chris, it's time to vote Sweet Surrender or Kick in the Crotch.
I got to give this one a kick. I got to put my foot in the pleasure helmet or whatever it's called. It's the lower waist. And, I got to put my foot into it.
All right.
It's a humiliating kick in the crotch!
I could have used that sound in the song.
Yeah, there you go. I'm a big fan of Devo, but I'm not, such a huge fan that I had a bunch of their albums and I'm familiar with a lot of the deep cuts. So when I saw this song and I didn't know it, I was kind of hoping it would come from something early on and be totally weird. And this is just kind of, like I said, man, it just doesn't strike me as there's a ton of effort put into it. I know there's always effort to create original music, but it's just, I don't know, this definitely not as catchy as the other songs from this album we've mentioned, and it just seems kind of lazy and listless to me and kind of boring. So this tune didn't do it for me, but in general, huge fan and 100% respect for Devo for just being so totally original and subversive. Hats off to them from me.
Nick?
I'm going to give it a Sweet Surrender.
It's Sweet Surrender. Hell yes.
And considering that it's Devo, I'm going to say the sweetness of the surrender comes from like some sort of equal packet or something like that. something
artificial.
Something odd and artificial. Yeah. I liked it. I like the fact that it seems like it's the song that Dare to Be Stupid would have been based off of. So I kind of like that idea. I don't know. Lyrically, it's whatever. It didn't. They have some. They're always odd, but they have some lyrics that I think are a little more clever from songs that I've heard. It's fine. It's a fun song. I'm not in love with it though. I don't know. I guess Devo's a band that like I get what they're doing. I don't sit down and listen to full albums though. Mm-hmm. Like it's just kind of like when I want something weird and I want peekaboo. Like okay, I'll throw that on. But I don't know. I definitely, like Chris was saying, a huge amount of respect to them. And but the song, yeah, it's not one of the favorites I've heard by them. It's fine, but it's not great. So I'll pass it over to Andy.
I'm going to pretty much agree with everything Nick said. I'll give it a Sweet Surrender.
It's Sweet Surrender. Hell yes.
I liked it. Don't love it. I think I like a lot of other Devo songs better that I've heard. But Devo's another one of those bands. I say this all the time. I'm one of those people who's stuck with my, I don't know, couple of handfuls of bands that I listen to over and over and over. Devo's one of those bands that I feel like I should listen to more full albums and dig deeper on, and I just have never gotten around to it. But maybe that's something to do here in 2020 for me. But until then, I'm sorry if you disagreed with us.
That's just the fucking way it is.
So there you have it, guys. So
but that was cool, though. I'm glad we got an old Devo song.
Me too.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I would have preferred an older Devo song, but like I said, when the artist came up, I couldn't really pass it up. The potential was there for something really good, and just didn't do it for me.
Well, maybe that's bad news to some, but Nick has some good news.
That's true. I do have some very, very good news. Something has been unearthed.
There's nothing more exciting than an unearthing.
And I got it at on an online auction. It was apparently some of the personal collection of. They didn't say who it was, but the last name started with a W. And it was somebody who
Why is that important? What is that bit trivia? What is that?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that's going.
Well, it was part of Harvey Weinstein's collection of rarities that he won't be needing anymore.
Oh no, okay.
This is from the Harvey Weinstein personal collection.
Oh my!
Allegedly, I
this could be anything. Who knows?
I saw it up there, and I mean, I had to drop a few dollars on this. This is not something I was going to let go of. You know how people will spend $1 million for like a recording of John Lennon and Paul McCartney talking while playing piano, something like that. This I had the same kind of urgency as someone like that.
How did you happen across this Harvey Weinstein auction?
It was in the news, I thought. No,
I missed it.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't necessarily mean anything. I don't really pay
maybe it wasn't in the news. I don't know. Either way, might have been a different Harvey Weinstein. I don't know. There's probably a few out there.
Yeah. I get the impression that one of the items that was not on the list was a belt for a robe. He didn't seem to really have a need for that particular item. So
those were always just immediately discarded. The tag, the price tag, and the belt right in the trash.
Yes, no use for that whatsoever.
But I found, and I'm gonna share it with everybody.
Oh, good.
Andy, do you know what this is? This is all coming out of left field.
Nick just told me Nick said he had good news. He wanted to unearth something he discovered. So
it's from familiar artists. Listeners of this podcast will have heard of these individuals.
Oh.
These individuals.
It's a collaborative recording. It's a promo only, not for resale. I don't believe it was ever released to the public.
With that, yes.
And it's 1958. That year should be familiar with certain artists that we've unearthed stuff from in the past.
No, I think I'm starting to figure it out.
It's Diminutive Andrew.
Oh boy, hold on.
Featuring.
Hold on, it's
featuring
Diminutive Andrew.
Oh, yes.
What a shithead.
Okay.
A new Diminutive Andrew track. However, this one it's Diminutive Andrew featuring Ricardo Honez and the Big Throbber.
Oh my God!
All three of these artists together, just like they were at Woodstock 50. The only artist known to have played at the 50th anniversary of Woodstock are these three gentlemen. So
that's true.
This is a big deal.
Interestingly enough, at Woodstock 50, they also initiated several rapes with their performance. So it's a little known fact.
Wow.
But
it was interesting because they were the only three there.
That's true. It was them and the backing band.
When these guys take the stage, I mean, just a whole different sort of energy flows over the crowd. But you're saying this is a collaboration?
A collaborative effort from these three giants, or would-be giants. I don't know. I guess it's like Devo. Were they huge? Were they not? I don't know. I was not there.
So what do you know here? I mean, what can you tell us about the song? Do we know anything?
I don't really know. No, I have not. I know only the title and the year and the artist.
So you bought. So this will be your first listening to it right here on the show.
Yes, this will be.
I mean, obviously that's also true of Andy and I, but. So is this a vinyl piece? What's the medium here?
Yeah, this is one of those really big, thick shellac records.
One that shatter like a piece of glass if you don't hand.
Yeah. So we got to be careful here. It still has a few of the from when it was carved out in the grooves. There's still some of the curls, some of the shellac black curls are still on this. So I don't think it's ever been listened to.
So Weinstein probably just had it on display.
Just an I have this and nobody else does kind of a thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Just boasting.
From the Harvey Weinstein collection. Just a lot to pack here.
I can't confirm that it's that Harvey Weinstein. So.
Oh, well, that puts a different twist on it. But, so there's no provenance that it's from the Weinstein collection of personal items?
It's from somebody's collection, but now it's ours, and now we're going to give it to the world.
Maybe it's from the Jeffrey Epstein collection.
It could also be. It could be from the Juan Epstein collection, as far as we know.
He is probably a fan of Ricardo Honia. That's stereotyping there.
Word has it, I think a few episodes of Welcome Back, Kotter, you could see a Morrissey poster in his bedroom and a Ricardo Honia's on the other wall.
Morrissey is like a 12-year-old boy who's just not even a musician yet.
Yeah.
He just knows this kid's going to be someone.
Happening.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm going to put this on and treat everybody to the world premiere of Peckerwood Mama.
I am blown away by this. I don't even know what to think. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect. Andy, what do you think is coming at us with this?
I'm at the edge of my seat here.
We're familiar with their work as separate artists.
Yeah.
But they come together. It's.
This is like a modern day rap song. You just get the three biggest stars out there and put them on one track.
Yeah, I don't think that was happening very often back then. So,
no.
Trailblazers, these guys were.
So subversive, even to use a term we've used plenty on this episode. I mean, certainly the Big Thropper with the subject matter, the profanity. I mean, this guy was. How was he not locked up back in 1958? Is my question.
You know what I heard? I heard that the Big Throppers fan club, he used to sell them pleasure helmets to wear on their heads. Plastic glands helmets that the audience would wear.
It doesn't surprise me in the least.
And you know, looking up the Big Thropper, it actually looks like he married into a family that had the last name Weinstein. So I don't know where that goes.
Now it's all coming together. Big Thropper also did not have a use for the robe belt. The robe belt instantly in the trash when he would get a new robe.
He would actually fix braces to the robe so that it couldn't accidentally close all the way, just casually. He had these special spacers that he would put on there.
It was like bat wings. Get some kind of skeleton in place to keep it open.
Similar structure to like the underwire in a bustier, if you will.
There you go.
To form the piece of apparel the way he wanted it.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, I guess this is the world premiere of Peckerwood Mama.
As far as I know, it is. I mean, this is completely out of nowhere. Unbelievable.
All right, well, 2 minutes 43 seconds. So strap in, guys.
Wow, that's like an actual full length song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Here we go.
Here it goes.
No good. Damn.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm trying to. It sounds like Diminutive Andrew is kind of torqued up about something, saying no good and damn and
yeah. There's a blues riff and he's upset.
Yeah, no, it's got a Delta blues thing happening here. I didn't know that he was into that, but I'm not going to try to pigeonhole him anywhere.
No, that would be a fool's errand to do that with diminutive hand.
All right, let's keep going.
Now listen here, Echowood Mama, look at the state you left me in. Echowood Mama, I'm stiff as a dead man. Where to begin?
Uh-oh.
Did he say he's stiff as a dead man?
He did.
I'm assuming that means he's intoxicated. This woman has driven him to drink, apparently.
Hackerwood Mama. Where does that come from? I mean, nobody was putting out content like this in the late 50s.
I mean, like Lenny Bruce, that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, you get locked up. You get banned from performing this type of stuff.
These guys have been erased from history.
Sad. We're not no longer.
No longer, that's right. Unearthed. Here we go.
You spend my cash, you talk your trash. When I need loving, you don't need a flash. You peach-colored demon, so bad as can be. Echowood Mama.
Did he say you peach-colored demon there?
He's really
That's what I heard.
He's driving home the point in case people weren't familiar with the title of the song, the meaning of the title. This woman is a peach-colored demon.
Wow.
So bad.
I believe. You know what, though? There's conviction in his voice. I'm taking his side so far.
I doubt he did anything wrong.
No. How could he?
Yeah.
What could he possibly do wrong to a woman, this guy? What was the line? He talking your trash, something.
I think that's something about spending my cash, too, yeah.
Yeah.
When I need loving, you're gone in a flash.
That was
is that
it.
what he said?
Yep.
Yeah, that's no good. That's not how a relationship is supposed to work.
Mm-mm.
That's a mean mistreater right there.
Yeah, that's this woman is she's a peach-colored demon, clearly.
I mean, really, to call your woman that, you gotta you gotta commit to that emotion to be able to even utter that sort of phrase about somebody.
Yeah, that's a deep boiling resentment right there to make those words come out of an individual's mouth.
And it can be Echowood Mama, fair as a lily. The death of me, baby. Have mercy, mama. Called her last night. I did some spying. Talked to Nick Carter on the party line.
Oh, my little sweet baby lamb, my honey child.
What happened?
Chris is...
hold on. Was that your actual record making that noise, or did
No, that's the song. It was still going. That was not an actual needle scratch. It wasn't my needle scratching.
That might be the first known use of that sound effect to depict a jarring transition in something.
I would have to think so.
I mean, that was hilarious. That just hit me in all the right ways. And now he's name checking Ricardo.
He sure is. Yeah, he said something about he heard his woman talking to him on the party line, which I guess in 1958 that was a risk that you ran.
Yeah, you could.
Getting overheard on the party line.
Mm-hmm.
That was still a thing into the 70s. That party line that like shared a phone line with somebody. Very strange period of human history. I don't recall, or I guess maybe to save money or to clear up the phone lines. Who knew? But that was still a thing into the 70s. But so that with the party line, you can overhear somebody else's conversations, and that sounds like that's what's happening here, right?
Yeah, and you can hear. I believe I'm hearing diminutive Andrew's reactions to this tragic turn of events.
Yeah, back it up a little bit. Back it up to the scratching transition, and we can get a full understanding of what's happening here. Right. I started cracking up when that happened, so I didn't hear any of the lyrical content. So yeah, back it up a little.
All right, let's see if this is good.
Oh, my little sweet baby lamb, my honey child. You know you don't have to put up with that man of yours. Ricardo will always be here waiting for you, baby. Oh, that's right, my little farina dumpling. Ah, yeah.
What did he call her? What kind of a dumpling? A furry?
I heard a farina dumpling.
Farina dumpling. That is.
Driving home. They're driving home the skin complexion. That's for sure.
Yeah. Jeez, farina dumpling.
I'm going to try that on my wife later after we're done with this and see if that term of endearment gets me anywhere.
Now, what's going on here? Ricardo is horning in on diminutive Andrew's territory, talking to his woman like that.
Yeah, and then we've got like a whole genre change there. I don't know what you call it exactly, but I've heard some sweet talk, interludes and songs like that.
Yeah.
There's even one in in the movie Top Secret when I forget what the song is, but it's where he says, it's the one where he says, "I'll even be nice to your mama."
Yeah.
When he's talking to he's sweet talking the woman in the middle of it. Mm. So I've heard some songs where that must have been happening around this time. But yeah, he's talking to this guy's woman. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It's dangerous.
And then to overhear this at random is just gotta, send you into a fury, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to get violent or not. I don't know what's going to happen next. Where does he turn to exactly?
I was thinking around this time, so Ricardo Honya is talking to this woman. He's calling her a farina dumpling. And Richie Valens at the time was just singing "Oh Donna." Do you think the difference in the success was the subtlety?
Yes, I think. We all saw La Bamba. We know that Donna's parents were not big fans of that idea.
Right.
No, that guy was a straight up racist. If he only knew what Richie was doing to his daughter, he would probably go on a shooting spree. That just wasn't going to be acceptable. So I think we might be on the verge of the similar outburst here. What do you guys think?
I don't know. He's upset. Musically, we went back to. It sounds like it's diminutive Andrew's Delta Blues again. So I'm assuming he's gonna react or something.
But some of that Delta Blues music talking about cheating women and big-legged women stepping out on people. There were some violent endings to those.
I think 80% of the time he shot the woman in those songs.
Straight up shooting people here.
I'm thinking 80%. I don't have the exact figure in front of me, but that's what I'm going with.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 80% of all blues songs are about a guy shooting his woman. The other 10 are the woman shooting the man, and then the other 10, I'm not 100% sure.
It's just whatever happens before the shooting, losing your job or whatever.
That's your artistic wiggle room there. That extra 10% if you're committed to being a Delta blues man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm interested to see where this one goes.
All right.
Take another turn.
She wronged me once and twice and thrice. Now I'm gonna ask the big flopper for advice.
There he is.
Hello, Andrew. Yeah, this is the big flopper speaking. I hear you having some trouble.
Uh-oh.
So this is what he did. I guess that's better than a violent altercation.
Called his buddy and asked for advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always better to, cool off a little bit. But I don't know if this is exactly the guy who's going to get you constructive results, but maybe I'll be surprised here. So far, just answering the phone and acknowledging that he understands what's going on with the diminutive Andrew. So it sounds like he's willing to offer some friendly advice here. So that's a good.
I can't wait to hear what the advice is. I can only imagine.
Let's find out.
Trouble with your woman. She said, what? She did what? Oh, Andy, you know this I don't like. You gotta take your...
See, now, and this is, what people are seeking in this type of situation. They want someone to commiserate with them.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's clearly when the details of what was happening with Andrew's woman came out, it started to seem to light a fire under the thropper. It's getting a little a mixture of being surprised and pissed off. Should we take it back a little bit? I think we might have missed a little something there.
All right, let's take it back like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the big flopper speaking. I hear you having some trouble with your woman. She said, what? She did what? Oh, Andy, you know this I don't like. You gotta take your packer and lay the wood to that trifling hole. That's right. You gotta pull your dick out. Fuck that motherfucker. You the motherfucker who owns that motherfucker.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Jesus. That took a dark turn.
it really did.
Yeah, and then it just faded out on the advice. So I guess it's kind of, it's an open-ended story, really.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know what happens next.
So I wonder if there's like
I don't think we want to know.
No. I was wondering, maybe there's a side 2. You flip it over and there's the conclusion of the
No,
song.
you know what? I checked that just to make sure, and at least not on this final recording.
It was just
unfortunately
blank acetate on the other side.
Yeah, yep.
Maybe the rest was erased to cover up evidence.
That could be.
Yeah.
Yes, the thropper came out with his signature over-the-top profanity for that time period. I mean, who was saying shit like that back then? No,
I didn't even know some of those slang terms existed in 1958.
His signature profanity.
Well, who else was doing that? We've now heard 2 examples of him just not holding back with the blue language. And wow. I mean, when you consider the context of when it was originally recorded, how do you just not sit there in astonishment listening to it? It's, man.
I guess people just weren't ready for it.
Oh, no. How could you be ready for it back then? I mean,
I'm still not.
Yeah. I wonder how much more recorded material of the Big Thropper is out there. I mean, it just seems to be no limits to what he was willing to do on a recording. But geez, what a combination of talents right there.
The first of its kind. Amazing stuff. Nick, congratulations on your purchase.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. It was worth every penny.
Mm.
Now, are you just going to display that proudly in your home at this point? Or
yeah, I think I need to make that a centerpiece someplace, and I'm gonna treat everybody. I'm gonna convert it and put it up on YouTube for everybody.
I was just about to ask if you would be willing to do that.
Yeah, I don't get that much of a thrill out of just having it for myself, you know.
I thought maybe you were going to rent a steamroller and publicly destroy it.
Well, who knows? This might have been rescued from a scene like that.
I could see that. Everyone got their Universal Fire Trio material. Ran them all over.
I mean, to think that people were upset about the Beatles, you know, after this is pretty astonishing.
Yeah, you would think when you spin a record and you get the phrase "fuck that motherfucker" in 1958, that would soften you up a little bit, but apparently not. Crazy stuff.
So many taboos on this record.
One after another, stealing another man's woman. Men of color clashing. Just all sorts of stuff. In the parlance of our times, there's a lot to unpack here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So which of the three of these guys would have gotten, as they say, canceled first back then?
I would say the Thropper, hands down.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, his only saving grace is that he was a white man during the extremely racist 50s. But in terms of the material, I think he was way beyond the pale compared to the other two. No question about it. I mean, maybe the whole titty sauce yams thing might have caused a controversy, but not in the way.
But here's the thing: that one was just popular in the underground juke joints of the day. That wasn't made for mainstream.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think he would have been second, with Ricardo Honia as last in line to be canceled.
Canceled nonetheless. Just canceled.
Third. All three would have been canceled eventually.
Yeah.
But.
Well, a shocking find.
Yeah, definitely, and
culturally significant, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I would say so. I would have to agree.
Display it proudly, Nick.
I will. Don't you worry. I might even get some copies made up for you guys.
Oh, wow. That'd be great. And you're going to share it on YouTube as well, huh?
Yeah.
So look for that link if you're interested. I'm sure it'll be on.
Yeah, make sure
Twitter
you put in the description, I do not own the rights to this. That should absolve you of any legal ramifications.
I'm sure that would hold up in any court.
Yep. Sure would. Sure would. Everybody does it, so it must be the thing to do to cover your ass.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's enough for today. I'm going to go to bed smiling after hearing that song.
Yeah, that was something else. A pleasant surprise. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Well, if you want to add a song to the listener submission list, go to potofthunder.com and make that happen. If you want to buy some stuff, we've got masks now on the TeePublic store. I don't know if you want a mask, but if you do, they're going to be there. are masks going to be relevant by the time the order's fulfilled? I don't know. We'll see. But maybe you'll want one anyway. It seems like that's a plan. Everyone's making masks now.
Like I said last week, and I firmly believe it. I mean, and I don't know how long, and we don't know everything yet, but it's, I think, historical. It's going to have historical significance.
That's true. So get your mask. I don't think they're that expensive. They're like, maybe it was $10 or something. Once you add shipping, it's like $42 though. My God. Shipping doubles the price of this stuff off of TeePublic. But whatever.
A little price gouging going on, perhaps.
Seems like it. And they're taking their sweet-ass time fulfilling orders during this quarantine.
Making us look bad.
They are.
I think the masks are on 2-week back order, if not longer.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, there you go. So by the time you get it, I don't know what you'll do with it. Whatever. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you guys for whatever you did. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm falling asleep. I was thinking about something else.
I'm gonna go eat. Actually, I better take my my acid reflux medicine.
Is that a norm? You pound down some acid reflux first, and then get to eating. Especially
if you're eating this late at night.
That's
forget
true.
It. You could be a young buck, and I think that's still a good idea.
If you're eating, it's almost 11. By the time you're eating, it's going to be past 11.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. Well, good luck to you.
Yeah, that's a young man's game. You're playing with fire there.
Mm-hmm.
I know it.
All right, guys. We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
Ooh.